Welcome. So Bill and I have been talking and making changes
Yeah,
about smoothies because for a long time, for years now, I've been using a smoothie every day
Yeah.
for breakfast.
Me too.
And we're learning new things that we wanted to share with you, and we're making changes around smoothies.
Yeah, and so I guess I would say this is kind of a fine-tuning video because we love smoothies and we're strong advocates of smoothies. Um, but it's a great way to get a lot of high nutrient dense foods in real quick, real easy. There's no chopping, there's no food prep, there's no cooking, very little chewing. So it's a great way to get some food. But we're learning there's a little bit of a downside too. So um, eat smoothies when they really work for you and understand that chewing your fruits and vegetables is the best way to get all the nutrients.
What I've decided to do is to have them 2 times a week instead of every day, and just see what the difference is with my digestion, with my feelings of fullness. What I've noticed in eating smoothies every day is that I keep making the fruit content larger. And I don't think that's the idea.
Yeah, right. Well, and I think generally too, some of the smoothie craze has come out of this idea that, we can really up our phytonutrients, get these nutrients that are so good from fruits and vegetables to fight cancer and lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol. We can get this in the smoothie and use that to kind of offset the rest of our diet.
Sure.
And that's not the answer either.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I know sometimes the client will say, I get my greens in my smoothie. And ideally, we want to have greens 3 times a day, not just once,
Yeah.
even if we put a lot in the smoothie.
Right. So basically, a smoothie is smooth because that blender has broken everything down. So here's kind of the downside that research is pointing out about smoothies. When that fiber gets broken down, when those cell walls get broken, it makes it very easy and quick to drink. But then the sugars are free, the natural sugars are freed into the drink. So it goes into your blood sugar a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
When the fiber's been broken down, it doesn't have as much influence in regulating blood sugar levels in the blood. So, yeah, when we chew it, it just has all that full fiber. So not only does the fiber then help to regulate blood sugars, how quickly the sugar goes into the bloodstream, when we chew it, it also then activates the saliva. So digestion's a pretty complex thing, actually. It doesn't just happen in your stomach. I used to think, oh, digestion happens in the stomach and then everything goes from there. It starts in the mouth. When we're chewing, we create saliva, and there are digestive enzymes. There are enzymes in our saliva that breaks aspects of the food down that aren't generated anywhere else. So we need to chew if we want to really fully digest the food in a way that all the nutrients can be pulled out and utilized by the body. So that's another thing in favor of chewing rather than blending.
And what about the microbiome? I thought our microbiome was enhanced by eating more food in its whole fiber form.
Yeah, it is. So fiber is what feeds the microbiome. But when we put it in the blender and break it all up, it kind of rushes in really fast instead of kind of being slowly put in. It's kind of like trying to heat your house by putting Kleenex in the fireplace instead of a log. So it kind of, everything happens real quick, and then there's kind of starvation. Whereas when we go in the whole food form, when that fiber is still whole, it is a slower go. And so this may be why, I mean, you can check this out too. You can do a little experiment. They say that when we chew our food, it helps us to feel full quicker and keep us feeling full longer. And you can try that. I mean, think about it. When you eat an apple, or when you eat applesauce, or when you drink apple juice. Look at the difference
True.
in how the body
Yeah.
feels and how it utilizes it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it feeds the microbiome, but it feeds it in a little different way. It's so subtle. So that's what we're saying. This is a fine-tuning video. Don't throw smoothies out the window. If they work for you in your time and time frame and budget and everything else, stay with the smoothies. But understand that you're probably going to get even more out of those fabulous foods you're putting in there if you chew it.
Anything more before I talk about the recipe?
Yeah. Well, we're going to add a little short video too with a fellow professor actually talking about the value of smoothies. It's just a minute and a half or something, just to give you a little something more to think about. Is there anything else? I think that, I know what it was. I wanted to share what I've been doing in place of my smoothie, because I had kind of transitioned to smoothie bowls. I always loved granola and yogurt, or granola and half, or, I loved kind of a milky thing on a grain, which ended 35 years ago. But there's something about that combination that I still like. So for probably the last year, what I've been doing is making a smaller smoothie, making that kind of my milk. And then some of the fruit that I would put in my smoothie, I put in a bowl. And then I pour the smoothie over it. So I was doing a smoothie bowl. And what I liked about making that milk, making my smoothie that milk, is that in my smoothie, I've got ginger, I've got flaxseed, I've got sea vegetable.
Seaweed, yeah.
And so then when I stopped doing the smoothie, I went, well, I really like that. I was getting ginger that way, a little extra ginger, and that's how I got the sea vegetable, which I can just chew on, but it's not quite as convenient. And I would add whole flax seeds to the blender to break it up instead of ground flax that's been ground and sitting in the fridge for a week or a week and a half. So I like that. So what I started doing is making my own milk that would include the ginger, the flaxseed, and the sea vegetable. And I make about 3 cups, so it's enough for 3 days. And I just whir that up once every 3 days and then put the excess in the fridge. So now I've got my fruits that I eat in the bowl with the milk. And then I have a lot of side vegetables, leftover greens from the day before. And today, what we did potatoes. You had spinach, potatoes, rice. You had an amazing
Peppers, celery, onion.
quick veggie dish to go with it. Yeah. So we're still playing with it, but we love refining our diet, and we keep finding we're feeling better all the time.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is notice if you do a day without smoothies or 2, how your body receives the whole food rather than the broken up, really liquidy food. The recipe today is really good. It's a Mexican rice and beans all in one pot. And I think you'll enjoy it. Give it a go. If you want it to be exotic, you can add frozen or fresh mango at the end. That is really yummy with some lime juice.
Yeah, really good. Okay, well, that's our favorite flavor, so it's a big one for us. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Let's see you again next week.